welcome to this week's Ruby Shoes podcast. Now, when I last spoke to you, we had a couple of really big events coming up. First, a big charity car show, which was on Bank Holiday Monday, which was a massive success. And then literally Sunday just gone, we were at the One Big Multicultural Festival right in the heart of Ipswich. So if I sound a little jaded, I am. But they were both amazing events which we attended and were very much involved with. And it's nice to have them both passed behind us now, which is good. Anyway, back to matters in hand, the Ruby Shoes podcast for this week. Well, I can tell you that as well as those two events, I did manage to drop into one of the rehearsals of On Golden Pond by the Deben Players. And I've been chatting to the curator of one of the venues on the Ipswich Town Art Trail, which is happening later this month. Plus, as always in the Ruby Shoes podcast, we've got a roundup of some of the region's top theatre shows that you won't want to miss. Now, last week I was invited to visit one of the first run-throughs by the Deben Players of their next play, and I got to sit in during the first half. So tonight I'm in Melton and I'm here to see the Deben Players. The Deben Players are presenting Ernest Thompson's play On Golden Pond. It's going to be at the Seckford Theatre in Woodbridge from September the 10th through to the 13th. So I'm going to go and have a word with their director, Richard Daly. You're obviously doing a brilliant job because that was fantastic.
Yeah, they're doing very well.
That was literally like it was the last run through.
Thank you.
Yeah, you must be so happy.
They're doing it. They're doing so well, and especially Chris and Sarah, because either one of them is on stage for the whole show.
And it's a lot of dialogue, isn't it?
And some of it is just single words, like yes, no, what, and stuff like that, and they get it all. They just get it all.
Yeah, they really do.
Good,
Really, really believable. Absolutely fantastic. So if people don't know the story of On Golden Pond, just give us a quick kind of summary.
So it's about. So the story is Ethel and Norman are coming to the pond for the 46th year, and Ethel's been coming here since she was a child because it was her parents' place, and together this is their 46th year celebrating Norman's 80th birthday, and his mind is starting to go, and she's worried about that, and he doesn't have a relationship with their only child, a daughter, and she's also conscious of wanting to reconcile with her, and so unbeknownst to him, she invites Chelsea up, and Chelsea, who's had trouble settling down in relationships, has started a new relationship, and she's bringing the new boyfriend and his son with them, with the plan of leaving the son with them while they go off to Europe, and the problems that potentially presents. And
we better not say too much because people won't need to go.
And that's sort of where it all kicks off from. And then that's where you're left to see, well, how will Norman cope? How will Ethel cope, and how will young Billy cope as well?
And it's that kind of generational divide as well, isn't it? And it's just really interesting, and there's some real humour in it as well.
Oh yes, and the character of Norman, and I've said this to the cast right from the start, he's not a nice character. He really isn't, and he uses sarcasm, and he uses that as not just as a defence but as a weapon, and in all of his interactions with the bailman, with young Bill, with old Bill, it's all very barbed, everything he says, and it's not until we get to the second half that you see some of that unravelling. But it's quite interesting.
No, it's brilliant. It's really, really good, and it's been lovely for me to have a sneak preview tonight. So
it's all the first half.
So it's all on from the 10th through to the 13th. It's at the Seckford Theatre.
Seckford Theatre in Woodbridge, and curtain up at 7:30, and first half runs at just about an hour. Second half is a little bit shorter. There's an interval, but if you've never been to the Seckford Theatre, it's a lovely theatre. Holds 315 people. They've got got a bar and everything, so if people want to come and begin a real social evening,
really good.
Yeah.
And then just a little bit about you as well, Richard. Have you done lots of directing? I'm guessing you have.
This is my 4th show.
Yeah.
This is my 4th show.
You seem very relaxed.
Thank you.
They're all very happy.
Thank you. And it's funny, I got involved with Deben Players in 2009 because my eldest daughter did a show with them, and as with many parents, I come along to pick her up and do stuff, and I end up, before I know it, I'm treasurer, and then I'm on the committee, and then I'm helping out at shows, and then people are saying to me, oh, you should have a go at directing, and then here I am 4 shows later.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you've absolutely got it. It's
Thank you.
you did very, very natural to it, so well done you.
Thank you very much. And I feel that without the people like Emma Dorner's up there, who's my assistant director, without her here to help me, without the people in the background like Sam Harvey, Steve Parks, and all the other people who help do things in the background, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. I couldn't source armchairs, I couldn't source all the bits and pieces, all the props we need, and I certainly don't build the sets, but when we get to the theatre, we have a great team behind us that do all of that, and the show then comes to life.
Yeah, it really does. I can't wait for it all to happen. How do people get hold of tickets?
So you can go to debenplayers.net and there's a link there. If you can't, you can email richard@debenplayers.net, which is my email address, and I'll send you some links and I can put that through. There is a flat price for tickets, and there are no concessions or junior tickets. It's just a flat price, and particularly theatre holds, I think, because we've rearranged the theatre, and it's 305 in the theatre, and we're hoping for a good turnout.
I'm sure you'll get it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking to us today for the Ruby Shoes podcast.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Ipswich Town Art Trail takes place on Saturday the 13th and Sunday the 14th of September. There'll be exhibitions, workshops and also demonstrations by Ipswich artists across 10 venues in the town centre. Here to tell us more is the curator of one of these exhibitions at St Clement's Art Centre, John Field. Welcome to the Ruby Shoes podcast.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Thank
you very much for having me on. I do appreciate it. A little bit of background about what's happening on that weekend. Ipswich is blessed, to use a very American term, having a really strong range of very historic buildings. And what we've realised, the local arts community, is that there's also a lot of us working away in our studios and, doing exhibitions, this and that. But particularly since COVID, it's very difficult to find a community with which to discuss work and show it. And so the Ipswich Visual Art community was set up by a group of sterling members of the local community to kind of try and celebrate the fact that there's a lot going on in Ipswich, not just in the music scene. We all know about Brighton the Corners, but in the visual arts as well. So as mentioned, on the 13th, 14th of September, there'll be 10 venues. The Unitarian Meeting House in the centre of town is the kind of central hub of the activity, and there'll be artists work on show outside of the building as well as inside. And as mentioned, there'll be 9 other venues across town that showcases local work. Artists will be giving demonstrations, speaking about their exhibition records and all that kind of thing. And what I'm doing is bringing along a whole group of my old friends, who I made in my time when I taught over in the United States. And I was lucky enough to meet a whole range of really interesting artists and curators, writers, academics, who it seemed were showing a lot over in the US and elsewhere, but not here so much in England. So the constellations aligned. I seemed to have a group of friends looking for an exhibition, and I had a space, which is St Clement's Church, and I had some dates. So put all that lot together, what we'll be doing is exhibiting on the day, on Saturday, 12 individual artworks. The artists, one or two are coming to Ipswich, one doing a performance. They are based in Berlin. There's some work coming in as arrived already from Seoul in Korea. I have work from Atlanta, Georgia, some from Portland in America, 1 or 2 other places. 5 of the works are video, and 7 of the works are tangible. They're physical objects and images in the church environment. And running all the work is an interest in the way that churches and St Clement's is a beautifully maintained and looked after church. And art galleries aren't actually that different. They have wooden floors, they often have white walls, and they're places for quiet, often contemplation. So bringing all that together, the work carries a kind of a theme of quiet, I guess, if I'm looking for a term, a hook to the show. And so it's a very minimal exhibition. There will be some videos that are quite noisy, but on the most part, and especially from my Chinese and Korean friends, a kind of a very gentle, quiet sensibility that I think provides as an alternative to the noise and
Very much so.
monotony of everyday life and the busyness and the pinging of my phone and the need to be 6 places at once. So I think it's a chance, hopefully, in the church that weekend to experience a little bit of peace.
Oh, John, you've painted a lovely picture. Have you got anybody coming from Ipswich, Massachusetts? Because obviously there is an Ipswich over in America.
There is, yeah. No, I'm afraid I never thought to reach out to them, to be honest. That's I don't. I will be beaming in, however, the Mediology Collective, who are essentially 3 old drinking buddies from my college days, who will be projecting a live performance of a piece they're doing, and they work with technology a lot, based entirely on AI. So a lot of these artists are trying to think about the fact that in 2025, art, excuse me, it's sort of it's under attack a little bit in terms of ChatGPT and Midjourney and so on can do these things very efficiently, very quickly. But my idea is that art can do something a lot slower and quieter, and perhaps prompt a lot more contemplation, perhaps, than we're encouraged to do often. My own interest in my own studio practice, I run a studio called Sandbox Studios, which is above Honey Harvey Coffee Shop in the middle of Ipswich. There are 6 of us working in there, artists, printmakers, sculptors, myself. And this project in the church has kind of grown out of my own interest in art and my own practice. And that's very much tied into, at the moment, Christchurch Mansion's The Lady Drury's Closet. So the work that I'm doing, although it's kind of international in flavour, there's art coming from all over the place. I'm trying to think very closely about the fact that it's Ipswich that the work is being shown in, that some of this art might be a little alien to some of the audience, but that the general sense of I don't want to paint too black a picture, but anxiety maybe about the world that we are living in. The fact that a lot of the artists we're showing are now living in another part of the world from which they originated. We're all in one way or another dealing with the fact the internet has rendered our product. It's different now, the way that we might make art or market.
It's also more accessible, isn't it? So that's a good thing. The fact that you can reach out to these artists and they can be in their own hometown and beam their works to us here in Ipswich Town Centre.
Couldn't have happened this in any other period. I mean, the fact that we can actually watch here in Ipswich 5 hours over the Atlantic, a group of people who are generating live an interactive piece of art. I mean, that's an astonishing thing to be able to create. And that's what the guys over in Savannah I'm talking about are interested in trying to do is open communities up. You know. Brilliant,
John. Tell me, do people need tickets? Can they just kind of rock up on that weekend?
No, there's no charge. The church will be open as part of not only the Ipswich visual art community, but also the Heritage Open Weekend, which is exhibiting a lot of the buildings in town. So there'll be people coming through. You're welcome to join any of those tours that will be coming through. I'll be giving little talks I'm planning on the day about the exhibition. Please do come along. There's a bike ride also heading out from the church early in the morning. We're also hosting an American artist who now lives in Berlin, who will be doing a live performance at 4 p.m. on Saturday. We're currently negotiating how that will work out and all of that. But
still in the planning.
If you're trying to find a slot in the weekend where you want to see some crazy art action, 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. We're toying with the idea of having periods during the exhibition of banning phones in the church.
Yes, do it. Don't let people sit on
their phone. I mean, the theme, in a sense, is, that you can walk out of the busy world and have a moment to collect yourself, and not only, people generating TikTok videos, but the phones pinging and the rest of it might be part of the problem. So it might happen that we impose some kind of ban on technology.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah, I know. I said this. My 16-year-old son looked at me, rolled his eyes, and he said nothing, but I got the message.
Yeah. John, I wish you all the best with it. Sounds fantastic. Really, really good. And then just to finish, St Clement's Art Centre, just explain how we find you, because you're right down by the waterfront, aren't you?
That's exactly right. Yeah. If you happen to be in Ipswich, there are now pink maps up all over the town with St Clement's Art Centre on it. It's next door to 4 Street Swimming Baths. If you know there's my friend writing. There's car parking right next door to it, if that's an issue. Access is easy. We'll be opening at probably 11 o'clock, I'm saying, actually, on the Saturday morning through to 5 p.m. It'll be open throughout that entire period, like I say, with a performance midway through. Likewise, the same hours on Sunday. Lovely. So if you make it down there, it's right next to the waterfront. You can have a lovely cup of coffee, only a 5-minute walk away from the church.
Oh, John, I think it's going to be brilliant. Really good. It's Saturday the 13th, Sunday the 14th of September. It's all part of the Ipswich Art Trail. And do make sure that if the only place you visit, it's St Clement's Art Centre, but it won't, because you want to see all of them. There's 10 venues across the Ipswich Town Centre, so go to them all and enjoy. John, good luck with it. Lovely to talk to you today for the Ruby Shoes podcast.
I appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
What's on across Suffolk with Stephanie McIntyre, sponsored by Ruby Shoes Podcast, your weekly entertainment news podcast, available from your smart speaker, Apple, Spotify, or you just follow Ruby Shoes Podcast on Facebook and click on the weekly podcast link to listen.
There's a host of great shows on offer across Suffolk's magnificent theatres, and here's just a selection to tempt you. At the New Wolsey Theatre from Tuesday the 2nd through to Saturday the 6th of September, Bedroom Farce brings you marital mayhem, misunderstandings, mishaps and one very bad back. Across 3 bedrooms, 4 couples struggle hilariously with the ups and downs of their rocky relationships. Middle-aged Ernest and Delia are trying to celebrate their wedding anniversary in peace, whilst newlyweds Malcolm and Kate are hosting a housewarming party, having invited Jan and Nick, who are themselves navigating the pitfalls of commitment and a very bad back. Throw in a troubled pair, Trevor and Susanna, who create havoc wherever they go, and you dive into a hilarious world of misunderstandings, all in Alan Ayckbourn's hilarious play. For your tickets, go to wolseytheatre.co.uk. The Ed Sheeran Experience is coming to Beccles Public Hall and Theatre on Friday the 5th of September, featuring ballads, the beats, the ginger hair, the loop pedal magic, and now a live band. Ed Sheeran Experience is a live show consisting of all the hits. Jack Shepherd has been performing as Ed since 2014, and he's even been credited as the man himself. Sing-along, slow songs and all the hits. The Ed Sheeran Experience is a show not to be missed. For tickets, go to becclespublichall.co.uk. On Saturday the 6th and Sunday the 7th September, it's Hop to It Suffolk 2025 Art Trail at Ipswich Town Hall, when it will bring all the hairs together for one final hop from Ipswich, Beccles, Felixstowe, Lowestoft and Woodbridge, all under one roof in the town hall. The farewell weekend will be your last chance to see the magnificent sight of the full collection of hairs in one place. Find any sculptures you might have missed, or just catch a glimpse of any you haven't yet seen to complete your Hop to It Suffolk Art Trail experience. Come and enjoy a final look at all the hairs and their hair-mazing designs, snap some hair-tastic selfies and pick up any exclusive hair-themed merchandise. After the farewell weekend, all the hairs will be auctioned off to raise funds for St Elizabeth Hospice. For more details, go to hoptoit.co.uk. And finally, 2 brilliant evening shows. Firstly, on Saturday the 6th September at the Spa Pavilion Theatre in Felixstowe, Money for Nothing are back after their success last year. Having toured the world with their fully live 2-hour show and being tipped as the world's #1 Dire Straits tribute, join them for a night of classic Dire Straits hits, including versions from Alchemy, Brothers in Arms and On Every Street tours. You'll be blown away with the attention to detail and musicality whilst taking a trip down memory lane. Tickets and information is available via spapavilion.uk. Also on Saturday the 6th, but this time at the Leyston Film Theatre from 7:30 p.m, Song Sung Blue, the music of Neil Diamond. A show which plays tribute to the illustrious and wide-ranging music and career of Neil Diamond, celebrating 59 years since the first hit single and sales of over 130 million records. The show features hit after hit from Neil Diamond's career, including, of course, Sweet Caroline, Crackling Rosie, I'm a Believer, I Am, I Said, Forever in Blue Jeans, Red Red Wine, Beautiful Noise, You Don't Bring Me Flowers, Love on the Rocks, of course, and so many more. Go to leystonfilmtheatre.co.uk for your tickets. And don't forget, you can always get in touch with us via our Facebook page. We're at Ruby Shoes Podcast. We always love to hear about your forthcoming plays, comedy nights, your Amdram groups, or any kind of show, festival or event in East Anglia, and we can let everybody else know about it too. You can listen again to the Ruby Shoes Podcast via Apple, Spotify, or your favourite podcast host. And you can find our podcast links on our Facebook page and follow us there too, of course. And you can also listen to Ruby Shoes now every week on YouTube. Yeah, just type in Ruby Shoes Podcast and there will be, and you can see all our past episodes as well. Make sure you have a great week. I'm Steph McIntyre, and we really appreciate you listening to the Ruby Shoes Podcast, celebrating all the brilliant things we have when it comes to live theatre and entertainment.